Welcome. My name is Aurélie. I'm a Vedic astrologer, and today I'm leaving you this video as a note for the current transit. We are February 4th, 2024. So Mars is going to be moving into its sign of exaltation in Capricorn. And in a few days, next week, on February 9th, we're going to have the dark moon Amavasya, which is a Vedic concept. Again, I'm a Vedic astrologer, so I use sidereal calculations, okay? So please be aware of that. Mars moving into its exaltation a few days before the dark moon. Because Mars is moving sign, it's going to now be giving an extra aspect onto Jupiter. Now Jupiter's been cursed under the aspect of Saturn and Rahu for a little while now. And it's going to stay with that aspect until it moves into the sign of Taurus on May 1st. So that will be a big shift when that happens. So I'll go a little bit more into interpretation of everything I've just said so you get a clear understanding of what that means. So Mars is the planet of war, fighting, boundaries. It rules over police, military. It's very action oriented. It's a fire planet. And it's our ability to put boundaries in personal life has this energy of boundaries. And again, when we're thinking about the boundary of a country, right? So again, this military aspect, but it's the planet of fighting, of war, okay? So it's moving into exaltation sign, and while it's moving into its exaltation sign, it's also adding a drishti, an extra drishti onto this Jupiter that's been cursed, and that's getting now 3 malefic aspects, which means that it's really damaging the Akasha. So Jupiter rules over the Akash, which is the element of Jupiter that allows for everyone to get along. There is this ease where there's a lot of Akash, there's a lot of space. In a certain way, it helps diffuse argument. It's incredible, incredible for diffusing argument, for peace, for ease. And in the same way, knowledge, right? Jupiter rules over knowledge, so it has this ease of knowledge, the ocean of knowledge. So Jupiter's the Akash is getting very afflicted, and Mars is getting very strong because it's war going into its exaltation sign, its seat of power. For this reason, we have to be very careful of taking decisions, of being overly aggressive, because boundaries are good, and so is mitigation, so is finding an in-between when we're having an argument in our personal life. We can present where we're at, what's happening, what's coming up, and find a solution together, meet halfway, because it's not about one person getting their way, the other person getting their way. It's about how do we make it work so we can meet each other somewhere where both of us have enough space to be okay with what is. So again, this aspect of spaciousness is really important in concordance with setting boundaries, okay? So for this reason, we should be very mindful of overly anger, overly frustration, of taking actions that are a bit rough, overly rough, unnecessarily so. So please be mindful of that, especially as we get closer to this dark moon. So the energy will be less and less of the moon, right? The quality of the mind, the moon, and the people. So we'll just be this dark energy, and this extra fire and this extra aggression will be there. So we should be mindful. All right. And as I said, Jupiter is going to move into Jupiter is going to move into Taurus and going to be relieved from the malefic aspects, and that will be just lovely for everyone, most likely. It will be just lovely to have the Akash restored in the sky, that sense of spaciousness we spoke about. And also, while we're at it, we are slowly making our way to the eclipses, and And usually, how eclipses, I'm pulling up the punching so I can give you the date. Eclipses, it's not about just the day of the eclipse. Yeah, so the first eclipse is lunar eclipse. That's on the 25th of March. And the second is going to be April 9th. No, April 8th. And that's a solar eclipse. Yeah. So it's really, and there will be a Yama Yoga in the sky. So we should really take into consideration, right, that right now we're beginning of February, and in about a month and 4 weeks, 3 weeks, a month and 3 weeks, we're going to have this eclipse. And so it's kind of a culmination pulling towards that energy of this happening, this change, this energy of something in our life that needs to be that needs to be brought up and become aware of, because often these eclipses will happen on the axis of Rahu and Ketu. So these are the nodes, and the nodes make it really hard to see. Usually we say where there is Rahu and it is conjunct another planet, it's like a blind spot. It's very hard to see clearly there. And in order to see clearly there, we fast on Amavasya, the whole Amavasya. Keep fast, it helps you with the clarity, so you can see clearly. It's a very important fast. Actually, a lot of astrologers I know do that just for our capacity to see, for our own just, ease in life. It's very important. So again, we're coming up, slowly, it's pulling. The edge of the eclipse is pulling in those situations that need to be shaken up some. So it's good to be aware of that and be mindful of that. All right, so Guru mantras are very good for Akasha, for Jupiter. And Guru donation to gurus, donation to your spiritual centers. It's a very good time to do that, to just kind of invite or just ease this difficult transit of Akasha into your life. And please be patient. Again, I've mentioned about this overly aggressive, so be patient even when driving, with people, with friends, and relationships and decisions. Make sure there is a lot of breath happening, and because spaciousness isn't at ease right now, then make it an extra necessity to take space to reflect when needed. I'm sending you much love. I hope you have a lovely couple of weeks. I'll be making a few more videos as we progress towards eclipse time, as we progress always in between the new moon and the full moon, and everything is changing in the world. And I'm sending you much love. All right. Om Namo Narayanaya.